Hello, Life Groups. Thank you for getting together this week. We're in the third week of our Verses series, and in this series, each week we're talking about two things that are at battle against each other, both in our lives and in our faith. In week one, we talked about laziness versus discipline, and last week we talked about self-indulgence versus self-control, and this past weekend, Pastor Brant talked about blending in versus standing out. And I think that if we're honest with ourselves and honest with each other, we spend a lot of our lives just simply trying to blend in. It's certainly an easier and safer way to navigate through life, and we do so because, let's be honest, people are mean. We've all heard comments, we've seen them on social media or everywhere else online, and people are just brutal. People are hateful, and no one can blame you for wanting to blend in. But in John 17, Jesus is praying for his disciples just hours before his crucifixion. And in this passage, Jesus provides three ways in how to stand out. First, stand out by our holy living. We can't stand out if we do what the world does, if we have the same morals and have the same language and the same habits. There's nothing that distinguishes us from the world. Second, we stand out by our unity. Jesus prays that they would be one just as we are one. But wouldn't you agree that we get so caught up in small, insignificant arguments, we tear each other down and we judge each other and we're critical of each other, and that's not what unity is. We have to be for people. We have to believe the best about people instead of assuming the worst. Lastly, we stand out by our joy. As you know, this world is miserable. It wallows in misery and in negativity, but in a world that is miserable and negative, do people notice your joy? Do people notice something different about you? In a world that looks less and less like Jesus with every passing moment, may we be the kind of people, the kind of Christ followers that look more and more like Jesus each day. As Pastor Brant talked about in his message, may we be kingdom ambassadors, because God has called you and he's qualified you to do so. So we stand out by our holy living. We stand out by our unity. We stand out by our joy, and it's time to take a stand and not blend in. Enjoy your discussion today.